Generally considered one of the greatest cities in the world to visit, Sydney, Australia will take your breath away. Starting out in the inner harbor surrounded by modern skyscrapers and old buildings dating back to the origins of the city. It's a busy central port, and the Opera is the signature site of the city, designed by a Danish architect. You can get a great view looking out over Sydney Harbour by walking up on the Sydney Bridge. Now this is free, open to the public, and as you see there is a very nice walkway, and from here you really do get wonderful views. It only takes 10-15 minutes to walk up here from the rocks just down below, and you will find this is very worthwhile. You'll probably want to spend a half an hour altogether in a round-trip walk. Now you could pay to go up higher on the bridge, as these people are doing, with a guide, and that's a wonderful experience as well. You walk to the very top of the bridge, and you have to pay, but you might find it worthwhile if you're not afraid of heights. Back down at sea level, we continue walking along the water's edge. Campbell Storehouse is an old brick warehouse right next to the Hyatt Hotel, which has a premium location right in the heart of the rocks. This is the oldest part of town. Brick buildings dating back to the 1830s generally, 1850s, and they have been renovated and fixed up. For example, Rockpool Restaurant is sometimes listed in the world's top 10 restaurants. It's incredible. Sailor's Thai Restaurant is also in an old historic building serving wonderful foods. You'll have a nice view of the sunset from the Circular Quay. We're staying at the Harbour Rocks Hotel on this visit. It's an excellent spot in the heart of what's called the Rocks, the old part of Sydney. Comfortable hotel, about 60 rooms, nice size, with a wonderful breakfast. You can have this full buffet breakfast included with your room rate if you choose to. It's got an outdoor terrace for dining, and it's easy access to the heart of downtown. We're going to take you on a little walk now through urban Sydney. There's the QVB, it's called the Queen Victoria Building. There's a monorail that goes right through central Sydney. There's also a metro and extensive bus network that'll get you around town. The monorail is fun. It gives you a nice aerial view of the town as you're gliding by. We'll catch up to that a little bit later on the other side of town. Sydney has a great metropolitan feeling to it. This is a major world-class city. Population around 4 million people. The Queen Victoria Building is an excellent shopping mall in this renovated old brick structure, and there are modern high-rises, and the Sydney Tower, the tallest building in the country, with an excellent restaurant and a bird's eye view looking way down at some old buildings and even looking down at the skyscrapers while enjoying a delicious meal. Here too, it's a buffet. You can get some exotic meats, get some kangaroo meat, and good vegetables and sweets. Down to the Pittman Street Mall. This is one of the pedestrian areas right in the heart of Sydney, and they have a number of these smaller shopping centers as well. Over to Martin Place with its spectacular waterfall, another one of the urban centers of town. There are noted architects who've put up some of these contemporary skyscrapers. And also right in the heart of downtown, you've got lots of people, so this is of course a great place for people watching. And Sydney, being on the edge of Asia and the edge of the Pacific, has a cosmopolitan mix of people to enjoy, and they are friendly. Of course, the Australians are probably most famous for being friendly. You can get around town in a variety of ways, including the boat. Excellent boat service, leaves frequently, and it'll take you on various trips throughout the harbor. Take the boat to the zoo or to Manly Beach, or just a Circle Harbor evening cruise. Or in this case, we're going to Darling Harbour. It's just about a 15-minute boat ride from Circular Quay, so it's so convenient. You can also get to Darling Harbour by city bus or by the monorail, or just simply walking from downtown. It's really not far from the heart of downtown. But arriving by boat is a special way to arrive at Darling Harbour. And this is an interesting spot because about 20 years ago there was practically nothing here. And it has been rejuvenated. You've got the modern buildings and the monorail going right across the bridge from one side of Darling Harbour to the other. And a lot of attractions in the area. You've got the major aquarium. There's a maritime museum. There's quite a few shops, of course. And especially there are the restaurants. Here's a whole row along the promenade of top-class Australian restaurants specializing naturally in seafood, since they've got the watery view, and there's water fountains, there's sculpture, there's a lot of outdoor art and excellent modern design clustered all around Darling Harbour. Convention center and other museums nearby as well. Nick's Restaurant was a good one. These are open all day. You can come for snacks or just a drink on the terrace, or come in the evening around twilight for a spectacular dinner setting. And there's some amusement areas for the children. There's nice relaxing spots. You can sit on the stoop and look out at the view. There's a Novotel and an Ibis and Mercure hotels on the other side. They have a nice position with a good view. And as you walk along, you'll notice the contrasts of the modern and the nature. This is the Chinese Garden of Friendship. It's one of the very few Chinese classical gardens that can be found outside of Asia. And it follows the basic design principles and philosophies of the Chinese garden, with the four key elements of water, plants, stone, and architecture. It's a paid attraction that's well worth the admission. You walk in and there's very easy and pleasant footpaths that'll take you around to the different sections of the garden. Another excellent garden is free. It's the Botanical Gardens right in the heart of downtown. And surprise, they have bats in the trees. These are harmless. They're fruit bats. Don't worry. And they generally sleep all day. There's other birds and some wildlife in the Botanical Gardens, and of course all sorts of exotic plants. This is a large park right in the center of town, right along the water's edge. Another great path along the water's edge is out at Bondi Beach. This is the most famous beach in the Sydney area. It's got great surf, good for sunbathing. There's this nice private swimming pool on the water's edge as well. And look at that big stretch of sand. You can get to Bondi by public bus, or you can take the Explorer bus, which is really a good value when you're in Sydney. And people here are sun worshippers. A lot of health and fitness in this area, Bondi, and some funky shops along the beach. Surf shops, bookstores, cafes, nice little restaurants, kind of off-beat, off-kilter, the way you'd expect a beach community to be. And very accessible from downtown. It's just about a 30 to 40 minute ride on the bus, and then you can continue along if you're taking the Explorer bus and see more of the sights of town, such as here we're passing the Lands Department building. Another kind of bus tour is the open-top bus that's also available, and a lot of fun, and it'll take you past the architecture of the city. There is a great variety of old and new buildings here. And that completes our quick look at Sydney, as we end up with another view from the water at twilight of the great Sydney Opera and downtown Sydney.